Across many African cities today, something strange is happening. People are earning more money than ever before. You see it in Lagos, Nairobi, Johannesburg, Accra. Young professionals landing good jobs, entrepreneurs closing bigger deals, salaries that would have been considered incredible just 10 years ago. But despite all this progress, financial stress hasn't disappeared. In fact, for many people, it has increased. You meet someone earning $3,000 a month, yet they still say the same thing. Money just disappears. I have a friend, let's call him Brian. Good guy, sharp dresser, drives a nice car. Brian will tell you with a straight face that he has no idea where his salary goes by the 20th of every month. And I believe him. He's not lying. He's just trapped. And then you meet someone earning far less, but somehow they are calm, stable, and slowly building wealth. Maybe they take public transport sometimes. Maybe their watch tells time and nothing else. But there's a peace about them when money comes up in conversation. So what's actually going on? Why does Brian, with his $3,000, feel more financial pressure than the guy earning $1,200? The answer is something I call the African lifestyle trap. Here's how the trap works, and I've been in this trap myself, so I'm not pointing fingers. I used to think that the goal of earning more was to live more. Simple logic, right? The moment income increases, lifestyle begins expanding quietly in the background. You move from a studio to a one-bedroom, then from one bedroom to a two-bedroom with a view. You switch from the local transport to buying a car, then from a small car to an SUV. You start ordering from the fancy restaurants instead of cooking at home. You join that gym with the monthly fee that could feed a family for a week. None of these things seem dangerous on their own. In fact, they feel like rewards for hard work. And I get it. It's natural. You work hard, you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's what 90% of people do. They get a raise, and their lifestyle quietly rises to meet it. But over time, these small upgrades create something powerful, a lifestyle ecosystem. Suddenly, your income is no longer building wealth. It is simply maintaining the system you created. And this is why Brian, earning $3,000 a month, feels financially stuck. He doesn't have an income problem. He has a lifestyle expansion problem. He's part of that 90%, and the trap feels invisible because everyone around him is doing the same thing. Most people think the cost of something is the price tag, but that's rarely the real cost. The real cost of anything you buy continues long after you leave the store. This is the part they don't teach you. Let's say Brian decides to buy a generator for his apartment because the power situation is unreliable. He spends $800 on a good one. Problem solved, right? Not quite. Now he needs fuel every week. He needs regular oil changes. He needs maintenance when it breaks down. He needs a technician on speed dial. Over 2 years, that $800 generator quietly becomes $2,000 or more. The purchase was just the entrance fee. The real cost is the membership you pay forever. And this pattern exists everywhere. A bigger apartment means higher rent, more furniture, more electricity bills, more things to repair. More gadgets mean more data plans, more accessories, more replacements when they become obsolete. The lifestyle grows and the money disappears. It's like a leaking bucket, but you're so focused on the water pouring in that you don't notice it all flowing out. There is another powerful force behind this, and I need to say this carefully because it's real. In many African cultures, spending is often connected to status signaling. The wedding you throw, the funeral you organize, the outfits you wear to events, the title you carry. These things send a message to the world that says, I am somebody. I have arrived. Respect me. I see people do this all the time. They'll take a loan to organize a lavish wedding that leaves them in debt for years, all because they want to show the community that they did things properly. They'll spend a fortune on matching outfits for a cousin's introduction ceremony, outfits nobody will remember next month. They'll feel pressured to contribute generously at events, even when their bank account is screaming for mercy. But here's the problem. Status spending often creates the appearance of wealth without the foundation of wealth. And the more someone feels pressure to look successful, the harder it becomes to build real financial security. You're performing wealth for an audience that isn't paying your bills. The wealthy people, the ones in that top 5%, they're not performing, they're building. And the difference is invisible until you look at their bank statements. People who avoid this trap tend to ask 3 simple questions before spending. And if you want to step out of the 90% and into the 10%, you need to start asking them too. The first question is, how often will I actually use this? A $600 traditional outfit worn only for weddings and ceremonies might get used 4 times a year. After 5 years, you've worn it 20 times. That's $30 per wear. But a $60 pair of casual shoes you wear to work 3 times a week for 2 years costs pennies per wear. Suddenly, the expensive item isn't always the one with the higher price. The second question is, would I buy this again? Look around your home right now. If some items disappeared tomorrow, would you spend money replacing them? That blender you bought during your healthy living phase that ended after 2 weeks. The extra set of curtains you grabbed during a sale but never installed. The professional tool set for a hobby you abandoned. The fancy coffee maker that takes too long to use, so you just buy coffee outside anyway. Many of these things remain in our lives, not because we value them, but because we never questioned them. They're just there, taking up space and reminding you of money you'll never get back. The third question is, what expenses come after this purchase? This is where people get surprised. One purchase often creates 5 more. You buy a house, and suddenly you need furniture, curtains, security, maintenance, higher utility bills. You buy a piece of land, and now you have to pay someone to clear it, someone to watch it, transport costs to visit it, and eventually building costs that never end. One purchase becomes a whole family of expenses you didn't plan for. One of the fastest ways money disappears is through constant upgrades, and this is where Brian really struggles. His laptop works perfectly for everything he needs, but a new model comes out with a slightly faster processor. Suddenly, his computer feels slow, even though it isn't. His television is fine, but his friend bought a bigger one, and now when people visit, they might notice his is smaller. His phone still takes good pictures, but the latest model has a better camera. And what will people think if he pulls out an older phone at an event? These upgrades feel like progress. They feel like growth, but most of the time, they are simply expensive boredom. An item doesn't stop working just because something newer exists. I used to do this myself. Every new phone release, I wanted it. Every new sneaker drop, I felt like I was missing out. But here's what I realized. The temporary happiness of a new thing lasts about 3 days. Then you're back to normal, but with less money. The wealthy understand this. They let other people be the ones chasing the latest things. They buy things that work and keep them working. Here's where the conversation about money changes completely. Most people think wealth is visible. Big houses, nice cars, expensive clothes, designer everything. They think wealth is something you can see and touch and photograph for Instagram. But real wealth is something very different. Real wealth is invisible. You can't drive it. You can't wear it. You can't post it. Real wealth is freedom of choice. It's the ability to leave a stressful job without panic. It's the ability to start a business without worrying about next month's rent. It's the ability to take time off when life demands it, when a parent is sick, when you need rest. It's the ability to support family in an emergency without that cold dread in your chest. It's the ability to say no to opportunities that don't align with your values because you're not desperate. This kind of freedom doesn't come from owning more things. It comes from creating a gap between income and lifestyle. It comes from spending less than you earn and investing the difference. It comes from being part of that 10% that says no to the upgrade, no to the status symbol, so they can say yes to freedom later. The people quietly building wealth often follow a simple pattern, and it's not flashy, it's not exciting, but it works. They increase their income, but they slow down their lifestyle growth. Instead of upgrading everything, they choose carefully. Instead of spending first, they save first. Instead of chasing appearances, they focus on stability. Over time, this creates something powerful: financial margin, that breathing room between what you earn and what you spend. And margin eventually turns into freedom. I see this happening across Africa. People earning $800 a month who are building real security. People earning $2,000 a month who are drowning. The difference is never just income. The difference is always intentionality. Across Africa today, millions of people are working hard to improve their lives, and many are succeeding. But the difference between financial stress and financial freedom often has very little to do with income. It has to do with how lifestyle grows alongside that income. Because money can either build your future or quietly maintain a system of expenses. The wealthy step out of the 90%. They stop doing what everyone else is doing. They ask the hard questions. They delay gratification. They choose freedom over flash. And the real question everyone eventually has to answer is simple. It's the question Brian hasn't asked himself yet. It's the question that separates those who look wealthy from those who actually are. Do you want your money to support a lifestyle of appearances or a life of freedom? The choice is yours, and it starts today.